We have all seen vivid examples of people unprepared to face a disaster, struggling through a large-scale event such as Hurricane Katrina or a catastrophic earthquake in Asia. The question is, when a disaster strikes, do you know that you'll do any better? If not, spend the next few minutes watching this video, and I hope to show you how you can change that. My name is Rich Hildreth, and I want to talk to you about an attitude of preparedness. When a large-scale disaster strikes, it's very possible that you may have to fend for yourself for a few hours, a few days, possibly even a few weeks. But if you have taken a few steps towards preparedness, this should not be a problem. The questions you need to ask yourself: do you have disaster supplies? Have you sat down with your family to write a disaster plan? Do you have the basic skills that you may need during a large-scale event, or do you need some training? These are all questions you want to ask yourself now before a disaster strikes. Let's start out with a kit. Disaster kits don't need to be fancy. You can go down and you can buy at many hardware stores, many disaster fairs, and you can find them online. You can buy a basic kit that has many of the supplies you may need: food, water, first aid kit. You want to make sure that you have a flashlight, waterproof matches. You may want to have some basic hand tools, sturdy boots, work gloves. You can go online and you can find many great checklists on the internet. Places like ready.gov, American Red Cross, many other places. You want to make sure you don't forget things like prescription medicines. If somebody in your family needs a particular medicine to survive, you want to make sure that you either have that medicine on hand or a way to get it. You want to make sure you have certain documents that you may need to go ahead and prove your identity, prove ownership of things that might get destroyed otherwise. You want to make sure that you have your sanitation and hygiene supplies. You know, there are certain things you do not want to run out of. Now, what about a disaster plan? When a disaster strikes, does everybody in your family know what to do? Do they know where to go? How to check in or get back in touch? If not, you want to sit down with your entire family and write out a disaster plan. You know, often during a disaster, local communication lines may be overloaded. They may be lost. But for some reason, long distance still works. Having an out-of-state contact number that everybody in the family knows to contact, and you have it in the plan that everybody will contact, can be very important. You can have Aunt Betsy in California relay messages between the various different family members when they call in. But remember, you want to have this family project. Now finally, I want to encourage you to get some training. Many communities already have some great programs that are available free of charge. American Red Cross and many local agencies will have their own basic preparedness classes. Basically everything I've talked about today. You also have what's called the Community Emergency Response Team training. This training is a 24-hour class. It teaches you basic skills: fire safety, light search and rescue, disaster medical, all the things that you may need during a disaster. You learn how to help your own family, to help your neighbors, and to help your community. But most of all, you learn to do it safely and effectively. For more information on any of this, please contact your local emergency management department or go to ready.gov for more information. Now, I know that you want to protect the people you care about. You want to keep them safe no matter what type of disaster we may have to face. Well, you now know a few things that you need to do about building a kit, about having a family emergency plan, and you know where you can go to get some training. You now know what you can do to create an attitude of preparedness. You know, a good friend of mine once told me that the difference between a disaster and an adventure is preparedness. Wouldn't you much rather have an adventure? Thank you.